Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and on today's video I want to talk to you all about my favorite way of rooting plants. For me, certain plants prefer to be rooted in certain ways, and I have found this way to be my favorite when it comes to more difficult plants that are a bit harder to root. So if you're interested in just hearing about my plants, seeing the updates about the plants I'm going to be talking about, then keep on watching. So welcome back everybody. Alright, so a couple of weeks ago my girl Alex, Beantown HauzPlant, she sent me these awesome plant cuttings, and some of them were repeats from a last time we traded plants, but this time she just gifted me these babies, and I am just like, oh my gosh, thank you girl. Like, she sent me things it's so hard to come across. So again, thank you so much Alex. And I also want to mention another plant in here that I received for free. So I guess I'll just go with the first coffee cup plant. Okay, so as you all can see, I have inside of this moss. So I have moss inside of a cup. I have come to realize that moss is my favorite way to root plants that I find a bit more difficult to root. Some of them, if you leave it out in soil, or if you leave it out in moss, or you leave it in perlite, it pretty much just decays, and I have found 0% success. But doing it inside of a baggie with moss in a cup on a heat mat works for me. So that is what I do for these plants. So as you can see, I haven't had this for more than 2 weeks now. This is a Skindapsis pictus jade, and I was actually given this free cutting at a hotel that I went to. As I was checking out, I noticed it. I went to the concierge and I just asked if I could have a cutting of this, and they said yes, no problem. So one thing I do want to mention, I've been seeing a lot in the plant community, is people are stealing plants, and yo, honestly, chill out with that. That shit ain't cool. I know people love 5-finger discounts, but don't go around stealing cuttings. Don't go around stealing people's plants. And this is nothing new, but chill the fuck out, people. It's not that serious. Well, it is, because it's a very lucrative market, but that's not my point. Anyways, it's only been like 2 weeks, honestly. Let's just say 2 full weeks, and look at the roots. This is just roots that's not even growing in substrate. This is root that's just growing in the steam and the mist inside of this plastic baggie. So I have it inside of one of these like paper coffee cups, and I found that the paper coffee cups really help with just the breathing and the absorption and the excretion of water inside of the baggie. It helps let air flow and aerate more for me versus using, let's say, this method, which is like in a bowl with the moss in there. For me, I've had actually cuttings that Alex sent me die. These were the lacunosas. They did not survive rooting inside of this method, but I was just way too paranoid. I made sure I put the Lano Carta something. I made sure I put it inside of this, and I made sure to put my Philodendron, Variegated Heartleaf Philodendron cutting inside of this too, and this is really doing good. It's showing me that it's happy, so I'm not gonna bother it. So I do want to be a little naughty and pull the plants just for now out of the I'm trying to see what I want to do. I don't want mess all over. Alright, so I have it on a plastic bag right now. Let's see. I want to see how these plants have been like doing. Just only a few weeks. This plant is so funny just how it is. I love how the superficial roots, right? The roots that are not in moss are actually growing a whole lot compared to the roots that are in moss. It's ridiculous. But this is why, you know, you gotta be patient with your plants because they want to do whatever they want. So what I would actually do is cut here, right? And just stick that in soil. Like cut here, cut there, just start a few multiple plants. So I'm actually thinking I'm gonna do that instead. I'm gonna cut right under this node, and then I'm gonna cut right under here, and I'm gonna have just like 1, 2, and then 3 plants from this 4-leafed plant. So yay, I'm actually excited for that. I'm nervous for this Syngonium, which again I've had in the past, but Alex and I were not really too sure on how to properly root this plant. So unfortunately it did not survive rooting in my home, but I do want to see like how is it rooting right now. Again, it's only been just a few weeks, so I don't expect massive just growth, but there's actually 0 root growth, and that's okay. There's 0 root growth, and that's okay. But this is why this is just an update. I'm showing you all. I guess I'm gonna try to do this maybe every 2 weeks to show you the update and progress of these plants. I guess I'm gonna guesstimate that there's not much happening with this one. I'm a little punk when it comes to this plant, so I really don't want to disturb it too much. I don't recommend you all to disturb your plants, like especially plants that are a bit more sensitive like these. And when I say sensitive, it's just like uncommon. Like, you don't want to stress your plant too much. But I did notice last time that the root, you'll see like a little white fuzz that's bursting out of, it's literally gonna be so hard to show you all, but like one of the roots is actually bursting out of the brown node. So I know this one wants to do its thing, and I'm gonna let it do its thing. But again, I don't recommend for you all to mess with your plants as they're rooting, because these things are hella freaking sensitive, and I can't afford to lose it, and neither can Alex. Girl, thank you for sending this to me again. Like, I really honestly appreciate it so much. And yeah, that's pretty much all the updates I have for these plants. So 2 weeks in, not really any roots on these 2 plants. The roots on this one has been wanting to push out, but the roots inside of the moss have not. So I'm just gonna leave this in here to keep doing what it's been doing. I'm not gonna cut into anything just yet. I'm gonna let the plant do its thing inside of here again, and when it decides it's ready to root in like the next month or 2 months, then I will of course show you all in 2 weeks what is going on with this plant. So that is all on the updates of these cutting propagations. These are my rare cuttings, right? Uncommon cuttings. This is again a Skindapsis pictus jade. This is a Syngonium lanocardivoid, and this is the beauty with the green leaves and the red underside. and of course my Variegated Heartleaf Philodendron. So for care wise, what I have been doing is, like I mentioned, they are inside of this moss. This moss has been soaked in some Super Thrive water because I wanted to just add as much nutrients as I can, because obviously it's not in some soil substrate to receive those nutrients, so I wanted to make sure the moss had the nutrients inside of it. What I do also is every day or every other day I will actually mist the plants inside of the baggie, and like I mentioned, this is living on a heat mat, so the misting on top of the heat mat creates just this humid chamber for the plants, and they're, in my opinion, I'm seeing that they're really enjoying it. And as you can see, they've been rooting. Well, one of them is rooting happily. The other ones are still figuring out like what they want to do, but let's not press them, okay? So that is all I've been doing. I don't fuss it. It's living, lighting wise, it's close to my east facing window, but it's maybe pulled maybe a foot or two back from the window in a like shadier part of the wall. My Variegated Philodendron scandens. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little kooky family because we're pretty awesome here. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. And I will see you on the next one. Let's get growing. Bye.